Hey guys, Jacob Wallace, ABC Window Cleaning Supply. Today, we're going to take a look at the gear that you're going to need to do high-rise window cleaning. So let's dive in. Now, of course, the most important thing you're going to need before you start doing high-rise window cleaning is proper training. Work at height is inherently dangerous, so you're going to want to make sure that you know what you're doing. Now, the gear that we're covering in this video is for rope descent work, so the kind of work where you're sitting in a bosun's chair and you're going down on a rope. This video is not covering the gear that you need if you're doing work on like a platform or swing staging. Now, the most important thing that you're going to need is going to be a harness. It's important to note that you need a full body harness, and it's going to need to have at least a back or a front D-ring. Your harness is what's going to support you in case of a fall. We just did a great resource and a great video about harnesses. You can check the whole thing out here. Now, the next thing that you're going to need is going to be a bosun's chair. There's a lot of different bosun's chairs out there, but basically there's two things you'll be deciding between. Do you want a 4-point or a 2-point chair? And that's just the number of connections that we have off of the side of the chair. And do you want to have a cushion or not? This particular one has a cushion, which really just makes it more comfortable. Your chair is going to be connected to your main line and connected to your descender. You're also going to need a descent device, like the Petzl ID. The descent device is going to connect from your main line to your bosun's seat. You'll operate your descent device in order to lower yourself down the rope. Now, we recommend that you get a descent device which is anti-panic and self-braking, such as the Petzl ID. Anti-panic means that if you were to panic, lock up, and pull on the device too hard, it would come to a stop. And self-braking means that if you were to let go of the device, no matter what position it's in, you're going to come to a stop. Now, you're also going to need a backup device. Your backup device is going to go on your secondary safety rope. It's just going to trail with you unless you have an incident such as a mainline failure and you fall. In that case, it's going to catch you and hopefully prevent you from injury. We've got lots of great resources on rope grabs because honestly there's a ton to say about them. You can check out this video, which covers basically lanyard lengths and rope grabs. You can also check out this other video we've done that talks about the do's and don'ts of rope grabs. Now, the piece that's going to connect all of this together is going to be carabiners. You're going to need some carabiners on hand just to connect your bosun's chair to your descender, your rope grab to your lanyard to yourself. Really, they're just good to have around. Carabiners aren't that expensive, so this is not the item to skimp on. Make sure that you've got a couple extra around. Now, carabiners come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, materials. These are just two of them. We've got lots of great resources where you can learn a ton more about carabiners. I'd check that out right there if I were you. Now, a lot of window cleaners don't do this, but we really recommend that you wear a helmet. Helmets are just a good idea because they'll protect you from falling objects from above, as well as hitting your head on the building in front of you. So they're just a good idea all around. We actually did a post that goes into this in a little bit more detail. You can check that out right there. Another piece of gear that's often considered optional in professional window cleaning would be gloves. We recommend that you have gloves because they'll obviously protect your hands during your rope descent work. Now, lastly, for your personal gear would be a suction cup. Now, suction cups are used by professional window cleaners for sticking to the window to kind of hold them in place as they do their squeegeeing. As you get more and more rope into play, swinging tends to become more of a problem, and you're going to use your suction cup to solve that. So that pretty much covers the personal gear that you're going to have on you. In addition to your personal gear, there's a few other items that you're going to need in order to do rope descent work. The most important one would, of course, be rope. You're going to need to have your main line and your safety line. You can get whatever diameter you want, 7/16, ½ inch, or 5/8. Just make sure that what you're getting matches all of the other gear that you have. And also make sure to get the right length for the tallest job that you're going to have. In addition to your rope, we also would recommend that you get some rope protectors. Rope protectors are inexpensive and they'll protect your rope from sharp edges, extending their life and increasing your safety. Now, every job site's going to be different, but another thing you're going to need to consider is anchoring. A lot of job sites will just have nice, neat anchors for you to carabiner to, but other ones you'll have to get a little bit more creative. This goes back to the training. You really need to get training to make sure you're anchoring to proper things, not just anything's an anchor. But a great device to have would be an anchor sling. Anchor slings are just really versatile for wrapping around practically anything. They usually come in 3 feet or 6 feet, and they're not that expensive. It really is a good idea to just have at least 2 on hand per guy. Now the last piece of gear that we see a lot is going to be a roof rig. Now a common misconception is that you must have a roof rig for every job site. That's not the case. Roof rigs are a really fantastic device that come in handy on a lot of job sites, but they're not an absolute necessity for getting started. If you're just getting into high-rise cleaning or you don't plan to do it that much, really there isn't a need for you to get one for starters. Well, that was a little bit about the gear that you're going to need for high-rise rope descent work. If you want to see a few recommended configurations for the gear that you could get, we actually have a couple kits. We've got a basic kit, which is going to have more basic stuff, obviously, a little bit more economy safety equipment. But if you want to go all the way, we also have an advanced kit, and you can just check those out for some basic, most popular configurations. Now, it's important to note that for each piece of gear that we covered, there's a lot more that could be said. You can check out our blog. There's lots more resources there for you to check out. And it's very important that for each piece of gear you select, you read, understand, and follow the manufacturer instructions that come with that device. It's also extremely important that you get the proper training for rope descent work before you give it a try. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe.